So you have boarded your flight, you have stashed your carry-on, you are trying not to make awkward eye contact with the person who's definitely going to hog the armrest. Here's what you're not thinking. Wow, somewhere in Ireland, someone's making money right now because I'm sitting here. And yet, that's exactly what's happening. Ireland, yes, Ireland, makes money from over half of the world's leased airplanes. I'm talking about aircraft that have never flown over Ireland, never landed in Dublin, and have passengers who couldn't even find Ireland on a map. Today, we are going deep into one of the most low key but insanely powerful businesses in the world, aircraft leasing. This is a story about how a small island became the landlord of the sky, and how one good idea turned into a multi $100 billion global empire with a few dangerous twists along the way. Let's roll the clock back. It's the 1970s. Ireland's economy is sluggish. Young people are emigrating. The country needs something to inject life into the economy. Shannon, on Ireland's west coast, was already a unique place. It had the world's first duty free shop at an airport. That might not sound like a big deal, but it was proof Ireland could innovate in aviation related business. And in walks Tony Ryan, a guy working for Aer Lingus. He sees airlines drowning in costs from buying planes outright. At the time, buying a Boeing 747 was like buying a small country, insanely expensive, a huge long term commitment, and risky. Ryan thinks, what if we just own the planes and rent them out? Not in the shady back alley, rent a car kind of way, in a fully legit, structured financial model. Airlines get flexibility, we get steady income. This becomes Guinness Peak Aviation, GPA, and it changes aviation forever. Now Ireland doesn't just get lucky here. They make a series of smart moves. Tax incentives, the government rolls out laws to make Ireland the place for aviation companies to base themselves. Double taxation treaties, Ireland signs a deal so companies leasing planes to foreign airlines don't get taxed twice. Shannon Airport, they create a special business zone where international aviation deals can be done efficiently. Basically, if you wanted to lease planes in the 80s and 90s, doing it from Ireland was like playing a video game on easy mode. Okay, but why would airlines even do this? Why not just own their planes? Well, it's about flexibility and survival. Owning a plane is like buying a mansion you might only live in for 2 years. Airlines have to adapt routes fast. Maybe this year, Tokyo Sydney is booming. Next year, it's dead. Leasing means they can swap aircraft models without having billions locked up in purchases. And for new airlines, leasing is the only way to get into the game. No bank's giving you $200 million for a Boeing 787 if you are Sunshine Airways, with 3 routes and a logo you made in MS Paint. Plus, leasing jets, airline dodge some huge maintenance costs. That's why even big players like Delta, Emirates, Singapore Airlines lease parts of the fleets. Now here's the part I geek out over, how the money actually moves. Let's take an Airbus A320 as an example. A new one might cost around $110 million. Instead of an airline buying it, an Irish leasing company buys it and rents it out. That rent about 350 to 400,000 a month, and that's per plane. Multiply that by hundreds, sometimes thousands of aircraft in a company's portfolio and you are printing money. But it's not just rent. They offer maintenance contracts which increases the revenue, and they sell planes after 8 to 12 years to small airlines or convert them into cargo planes. Here's where it gets mind bending. The ownership chain of a single plane can look like a detective mystery. A Boeing 737 might be built in Seattle, sold to an Irish company, financed by a Japanese bank, leased to an airline in Brazil, maintained in Singapore, and insured in London. But legally, the title is sitting in a filing cabinet in Dublin. That means Irish leasing companies are constantly dealing with different tax laws, political climates, and currencies. They are basically the United Nations but for planes. If you have flown over Air Canada, Emirates, Qantas, Turkish Airlines, chances are your plane's legal owner wasn't the airline at all. Take AirCap, based in Dublin, the world's largest aircraft lessor with assets over $70 billion. They have more than 1,700 aircraft. Or Avalon, their planes fly for 147 airlines in 65 countries, but their headquarters, Dublin. So yeah, You could be flying from Sydney to Los Angeles and your plane's landlord is sipping tea in an Irish office. Now, you would think this is just a perfect business, right? But here's turbulence ahead. Like examples, in COVID 19, grounded planes meant airlines couldn't pay rent. In Russia Ukraine war, hundreds of Irish owned planes stuck in Russia unrecoverable. Economic downturns. Plane values can tank overnight. If enough of these shocks hit at once, Ireland's leasing industry could feel real pain, and it's big enough to impact the entire Irish economy.